Section 27, example 1. In the diagram, PQ is the diameter of the circle. PQ is equal to 12 centimetres. PR is equal to 10 centimetres. Calculate the length of QR. Give your answer as a surd in its simplest form. This is a kind of Pythagoras question mixed up with a wee bit of surds. So we know that any triangle that's inside a semicircle, when the hypotenuse acts as the diameter of the circle, means that this triangle up here must be right angled. So that's definitely a right angle. I'm just going to throw that in. That's just all on maths. Now, to find the length of QR, well, that's one of the shorter sides. It's a right angle triangle. I've got another two sides. I would do Pythagoras to get that. So for Pythagoras, it's, remember, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. And it turns out for this question that it's actually one of the shorter sides, RQ, that I'm looking to find the length of the side. So RQ squared then would be equal to PQ squared minus PR squared. So RQ squared is equal to PQ squared, so the length of PQ, as we can see, is 12, so it's going to be 12 squared, take away 10 squared. It's a non-calculator question, and I have to simplify the surd that I'll get in a wee minute. So 12 squared is 144, minus 10 squared is 100. So RQ squared is equal to 144, take away 100, which is 44. RQ then is equal to the square root of 44. Remember, for simplifying surds, I'm thinking about all my square numbers between 1 and 100. Now the biggest one that I'll find as a factor is 4. So that's the square root of 4 times 11. Bring the 4 out. Final answer is 2 root 11. Section 27, question 2. Part A, simplify root 2 times root 18. Well, we're just using the fact that root A times root B is equal to the square root of A times B. So root 2 times root 18 is the square root of 36. Since 2 times 18 is 36, square root of 36 is 6. Part B, simplified root 2 plus root 18. Well, root 2 can't be simplified, but root 18 can be. So for simplification of surds, I talked about previously, write down all your square numbers between 1 and 100 and take out the one from the list, which is the biggest factor. So for this one, that's 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So that's root 2 plus 3 root 2. A plus 3a is 4a. B plus 3b is 4b. So root 2 plus 3 root 2 is just 4 root 2. That's part B. Part C, hence show that root 2 times root 18 over root 2 plus root 18 is equal to 3 root 2 over 4. So I've got my answers for part A and part B. So for part A, which was root 2 times root 18, I worked out that that was equal to 6. So that's equal to 6. The bottom, root 2 plus root 18, I just worked out there that that was equal to 4 root 2. So I'm going to write this thing out again, but where I see the top, I'm going to write what I found it was, which was 6, and where at the bottom, what I found it was, which was 4 root 2, and that should help sort it out. So that's going to be 6 over 4 root 2. 6 over 4 will simplify down. And that will come right down to 3 over 2 root 2. Now at that point, I can then rationalise the denominator. So remember, my answer at the moment is getting a bit messy, but it's 3 over 2 root 2. So what I'm going to do next is rationalise the denominator, which just means getting rid of the root. But if I multiply bottom by root 2, I need to multiply top by root 2 as well. So that'll be 3 root 2 over, well, root 2 times root 2 is 2, times root 2 is 4, and that's 3 root 2 over 4, and that was what was required. as my result. And that's the final answer. Okay, section 27, question 3. In triangle ABC, angle ACB is equal to 39 degrees. Right angle AB is equal to 8 centimetres and AC is 4 centimetres. Calculate the length of BC. Give your answer as a third in the simplest form. So again, another example of Pythagoras mixed up with thirds as a non-calculator question. So I'm looking for BC. Now BC is definitely one of the shorter sides. The hypotenuse, longest side, is 8. So it's going to be Pythagoras and subtraction. So BC squared will be equal to the longest side squared, take away the other short side squared. So BC squared is equal to 64, take away 16. BC squared is equal to 48. BC is equal to the square root of 48. So again, I'm thinking about my list of square numbers, so I'm going to list them this time. So remember, it's taken out from the list the biggest factor of 48. Now, for example, 4 is a factor of 48, but it's not the biggest factor. The biggest factor of 48 in the list is 16, so that's the one that I need to take. And 16 fits into 48 3 times. Square root of 16 is 4. So the final answer is 4 root 3. Okay, section 27, question 4. A right angled triangle has dimensions as shown. So AB is equal to root 50, BC is equal to root 32. Calculate the length of AC, leaving your answer as a third in the simplest form. So it's Pythagoras again for a shorter side. So AC squared is going to be equal to AB squared minus BC squared. So let's take that down. So AC squared is equal to AB squared, which is root 50 squared. Take away BC squared, which is root 32 squared. Now root 50 squared, well, the root and the square cancel each other out, and that just gives me 50. Same with root 32 squared, so I'll just give me 32. AC squared then will be equal to 18. AC is equal to square root of 18. And again, it's about identifying from the list your biggest factor, 18. That's 9. Square root of 9 is 3. Final answer is 3 root 2. Question 27, question 5. The function f of x is defined by f of x equals 2 over square root of x. Express f of 5 as a fraction with a rational denominator. Well, the f of 5 bit just means, well, if f of x is 2 over root x, it's just saying wherever you see x, replace it with 5. So you just write the thing out again. Instead of f of x equals 2 over root x, it's f of 5 equals 2 over root 5. The thing then tells me to rationalise the denominator. So that just means getting rid of the root. So the way you do that is you multiply by the root, but if you multiply by top, bottom, you must multiply by top. 2 root 5, 2 times root 5 is 2 root 5, and root 5 times root 5 is equal to 5. Just quick check, can it be simplified any further? It can't, so it's the final answer to the question.